Hey everyone, welcome back. Happy Friday. So today was a happy Friday because, well, Bitcoin was up, miners were up nicely today. CleanSpark was up like 30 some percent today. So it was a fabulous day. I mean, you guys can see it in the ticker. It was just pretty much all green across the board except for one company. We'll look at which one that was. And then we'll also take a look at, we have news from Iris Energy that I didn't mention earlier this week. We got to go through. We'll also take a look at some information from Hive regarding their production updates for January. We'll see where they stand now. And then we'll also take a look at the Bitcoin miner share for the month of January. We'll basically evaluate them all on 6 and 8 metrics. And we'll give you guys which ones were the top 5 miners here in January for that. So it should be a lot of fun here. And as always, you guys know the drill here. This is not financial advice, for entertainment only. Please do your own research. And I'm investing in following coins and companies for full disclosure. And if you enjoy this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously, especially hitting the like button. If you guys could do that, that would be a big, big win here for me. And obviously getting the video out to other people that are interested in this space as well. So I would appreciate it if you guys could do that. Now let's take a look at what's going on here with the miners here really quick. And Bitcoin itself, Bitcoin was up huge today. I mean, at one point it was up to, well, it had a high today of, what was it, 48,230. And then it came down a little bit here, but it still was up 4% on the day. Closed at 47,160. Bitcoin is looking fantastic right here ever since we kind of bounced off our support line. You can say, I guess you could say it was right around 42,600, something like that. We bounced off of that. We were bouncing off the 50-day moving average as well. We bounced off of that. So that's looking pretty good right now. I think the next kind of peak is going to be resistance at 49,000. If we get there, that's definitely going to be our next stop here, I think. If we can get past that, we may go up to 50,000, but we'll see on that one, okay? Hopefully we don't do anything crazy over the weekend. Like I said before, I don't want to have any gaps to fill in CME futures. Now, if we look at the miners here, miners for the most part did pretty well today. There were a couple exceptions. Miners going double digits in gains a day. Some were up more than, well, nobody was more than double the digits, but some were up higher than others. But overall, it was a good day. The only one that was down today was BitDeer, was down 4.36%. Other ones like Argo was up 11%. Bit Digital was up 10%, almost 11%. We got Cypher being up 15%. CleanSpark up 32% at the end of the day. This one had a huge rally here today ever since it got out in the morning. I mean, it was up huge in the pre-hours as well. And then just continued that up. Finished up at a high today of $14.59. That's the new 52-week high for it. It obviously closed lower than that. It closed at $13.95. But I think that is still going to be its new 52-week high here on the charts that we have here. So this is definitely bullish for CleanSpark here. We'll see how it does Monday. We might see some selling, right? People taking some profits maybe. But it will definitely be interesting to see how that one plays out. And then we had, who else here? Hut was up 11% on the day. Iris Energy was up 16.4. Another nice day for them. Marathon up 10%. And then we had Riot at 11% up, 11.5 roughly or so. And then the rest were just all in single digits. The interesting thing is CleanSpark is actually getting close at Riot for market share. So Riot is about a little bit over 3 billion. CleanSpark right now is at like 2.7 billion, something like that, based on the numbers that I have for them. So they're getting close. They're nipping at the heels of Riot there. So it'll be interesting if CleanSpark can overtake them in market share, potentially. But that's kind of the way it works. So today was a fabulous day. Those of you guys that held on during the dip or dollar cost average in, congrats to you guys. I think the future is even going to be brighter for everybody here doing that. That's it for that. Let's take a look at the stories that we do have here really quick. First one we have in here is on Iris Energy. So Iris Energy provides an agreement with a company, and they announced, this wasn't today, this was announced on February 8th. So this was yesterday, I believe. Yep, that was yesterday. So I missed it, so we're going to catch up on it today. So they announced a commencement of GPU cloud services with leading AI company Poolside, a AI SaaS. So this is kind of cool, but it's nowhere near what we saw with Bit Digital getting like a 3-year, 5-year contract, whatever it was, I can't remember now, for like $50 million a year roughly. This doesn't even provide any numbers here, so it's definitely not as big as that. But here's what we do have. So key highlights are NVIDIA H100 GPUs, cloud service agreement with leading AI company Poolside. Contract secured following rigorous customer testing requirements, okay. Initial 3-month term, an extension option for an additional 3 months at the customer's election. So this is very short term, right? This is kind of what I was expecting with the AI space, especially the miners getting into it. I was thinking that they would get customers that would just want to train their models relatively quickly within a couple months and then be out, right? And put those models onto something else that they can use, like Google AWS systems, Google systems, Microsoft systems, whatever they are, and incorporate their basically AI services into those applications that would then be released to the public, being used that way. So we'll see how this plays out for them. But Iris Energy has executed a cloud service agreement with Poolside for 248 of those NVIDIA H100 GPUs. And like I said, there was no mention of revenue possibly from this, so I'm guessing it's going to be pretty small. Poolside closed a 126 million seed funding round in mid 2023 and is building the world's most capable AI for software development. I did check out their website. It does look pretty cool. If they can do that, I think it's definitely going to streamline and make it easier to code possibly. So application coders could be in trouble if this actually works out. You just type in something what you want and the application does it. That's going to be a little frightening for the guys doing the coding there. But that is it on that one. Just wanted to point that out to you guys. I wish they would have provided at least some numbers as far as what that contract is going to be worth potentially. And then also, how much are they paying for those 248 NVIDIA H100 GPUs? That would have been kind of nice to know. Maybe I'll have to see, maybe they put it in the SEC filing or not. Okay, but that's it for that one. Next one's going to be here on Hive. So Hive Digital provides January 2024 production update, increasing Bitcoin HODL by 14%. So that's good there. And then here's what we do have. The company HODL position at the end of January 2024 was 1,939 BTC. So that is a nice increase there. They pretty much HODLed everything that they mined. They go about talking about the Arctic cold weather, the weather in Sweden, everything else, negative 40 degrees Celsius. That's pretty chilly there. So they're talking about some of the curtailments that they did a little bit here. But based on my numbers, I don't see any of all curtailments. Well, we'll look at the numbers here. Bitcoin having strategy, they covered that. Bitcoin ASIC upgrade, we already talked about that. They're buying 7,000 miners of the 200 terahash miners, I believe they are. Yeah, 200 terahash miners. So that's getting them another 1.4 exahash added to that. January, here's what the numbers we were looking for is 234.5 BTC produced from ASICs. This is not including their GPUs. And then they had a 3.85 exahash of BTC month-end hash rate. So it looks like they swapped out some miners potentially. And we'll go over the numbers that I do have for them. Other than that, they talk about Bitcoin global network difficulty, and that is it. So let's take a look at the numbers that I do have here for them. These numbers are the most recent that we have, and here's what we do have. So 86 million shares outstanding right now. Stock price $3.61. Market cap of 311 million. Performance over the last 12 weeks has been kind of abysmal. Some miners have been doing a lot better than they are. But current hash rate 3.85, future hash rate 6.5, it looks like right now. And then their HODL is worth about 84 million. So they do have a pretty good sizable HODL position right now, which is good. And they're HODLing it as they go into the halving event, which is also good. Let's see here. BTC production peaked in May with 304. May was good for a lot of miners, pretty much all miners. And then it's kind of up and down, a little bit of a roller coaster ride here. They did 282 in December. Now they're down to 234 in January. Okay, month over month BTC. You can see how that looks. HODL position. They started last year in January with 2,430, and they were kind of selling their Bitcoin as they were replacing their older fleet of miners. So I thought that was good that they were doing that, getting rid of those older ones, bringing on new miners, which is good. And then they're starting to slowly pick back up on their HODL before the halving event, which I think is also good. BTC per exahash efficiency, that has come down. It's kind of what we expected based on what's been going on. Obviously, transaction fees have been reduced a little bit here, along with some curtailing possibly. And then month BTC sold, how much they sold. Based on my numbers, I'm showing that they sold 3, but they're saying that they didn't sell anything, which could be correct. It just could be a rounding error based on what they reported the month prior, right? Hash rate revenue. So total petahash, they did get to 4.1 or almost 4.2 exahash in November, and then they've been swapping out some of these older machines and installing newer ones, and their hash rate has kind of come down a little bit while that transition is happening right now. Monthly mining revenue, so they were at 12.03 million in revenue in December. January came down to 10.06, so it's still better than November. So that's not looking too bad. There's looking pretty good. Month over month hash rate growth, BTC sold value, and then you get the last 4 quarters. We covered that in the quarterly results. Normally, the thing I want to take a look at here, just the total current assets, 63.9 million as of Q3. And then the total current liabilities is at 25. So healthy balance sheet there, so no worries from them. They're also usually like one of the best as far as when it comes to efficiencies and things like that. So usually don't have any problems there with them. Okay, with the miners here, I took out some more of these older miners here today, swapped them out. So we got some of these 90 terahash miners that got taken out, I believe, only here. And yeah, that is it. So we took out some of them. So if we look at January numbers here, we took out these over here, miners, and brought in some other ones here. We brought in these 136 terahash miners potentially being added in. I also added in 1 million roughly in BTC transaction fees, and they were basically operating for 31 days. Now, depending on when they transitioned over the miners, when they took them out, when the other ones came in, it's hard to figure that out unless you actually know what days that was happening. So based on what they had at the end of the month here, hash rate wise, it looks like they were operating for 31 days, but they could have curtailed it a little bit. depending, like I said, when those things were taken offline. Let's see, what else do I have here? Other than that, I think we're pretty good here now. With their fleet, if they get their fleet fully installed here, it looks like they're going to be about 25.6 joules per terahash on average, based on my numbers that I have here for them. We'll see how close we get to that. Okay, so that's that part of it. Going over here, we can see the institutions stayed pretty much the same, 109 of them. Shares did increase to 16.79 million from 16.0 million. Shares percentage-wise increased to 17.8 from 17.3, so that's good there. We still have the 2 buy ratings, 1 hold ratings, 0 underperforms, 0 sells, so that's good. Price targets actually went up a little bit here to $6.74 from $6, and then $5.41 for the average from $4.75, so that's good. And the low stayed the same at $3.50. Okay. Now, I have them at a P of 10 here for all of these numbers here, and we're looking at we're looking at the most recent numbers from January, what the revenue was in January, taking that times the 2 months before the halving event that we have left, and then 10 months after the halving event at 50%, and I have them at between $4.09 to $6.13. It's pretty close to what the analysts have them here. And then if we look at their historical numbers, which includes the current quarter that we're in, which is estimates, and then we're looking at Q4 numbers, which is also estimates, and then we're looking at Q3 and Q2, which are actual numbers, I have them at $6.01 to $9.01 based on this. They're currently at $3.61. I think they're undervalued for this. They've always been, like I said, pretty, as far as efficiency is concerned and things like that, uptime, they've always been really good, always within like the top 3 miners typically. So I think they should get a better value on them. But I think maybe the only thing that's kind of keeping them back was the hash rate growth for their self-mining. I think that's what maybe kept them back from getting a higher value potentially, right? They're only getting to, like we discussed, what is it, 6.5, right? So they're almost going to be doubling it here. But from where they were originally last year and the year before, that's not a lot of growth here, but they're getting more growth here this year. So that's kind of good. They're at least still doubling it here. So I think they should be definitely valued more on that. And they do have a bunch of GPUs that they're transitioning over to HPC stuff and AI stuff. That will be interesting to note how that also plays out. But other than that, I mean, Hive has been through this already at least one cycle that I know of for a fact, which was the cycle back in 2021, going into the bear market here. And I think they were through the 2017 cycle as well, with Bitcoin peaking and everything going down. So they've been through bear cycles before. So I'm not worried about them getting through it. I think they'll be fine. Would love to see just more growth from them. And I think that would also help the stock price. Okay. But that is basically it on Hive here. Oh, yeah, I think we covered it. Covered all that? Yep. So that's it. For Hive, let's get into the miners, see how they scored on the metrics for January. Did they do better than other miners? Did another one get added? Well, I did add one more miner into it here. And we added in Core here because they're out of Chapter 11 bankruptcy now. They're listed on the NASDAQ. So we added them back in. And we'll see how they score on these metrics here for January. Also, we have one miner that hasn't reported, which was Mawson. Mawson has typically been pretty late when they do report these. I give the miners 10 days to report, basically. Obviously, they're not going to report tomorrow because tomorrow is a Saturday, so I cut it short to today. But typically, I give them about 10 business days to get the operational updates reported. And we'll go over this, and we look at month-over-month hash rate growth, BTC percentage sold for the month, Bitcoins per exahash, month-over-month BTC mined percentage, BTC mined, days mined, so operational uptime, current hash rate, and then HODL. Those two are taken out in the 6 metrics. So we do 8 metrics scores and then 6 metrics that don't include current hash rate and HODL. Okay, and then I was able to generate this beautiful picture here with AI, Bing AI generator for images. I just typed into it, award for best miner with text, top 5 miners or something like that. So we're going to use that. That's their trophy if they get into it. Be pretty cool if I could create this actual trophy and hand it out, but I don't have the money to do that. Okay, so here's what we're looking at. First ones at bat here are month-over-month percentage hash rate growth. Higher is obviously better. And the way the miners get scored on this, if they are the number 1 here, they get scored number 1. And then we go down the list here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's kind of how they get scored. Okay, so we see here that for the month of January, TeraWolf came in number 1. They increased their hash rate by 42%. So they got a number 1 score. Core came in second with 9% increase. Iris came in third with 8% increase. And then you got DigiHost all the way down through everybody else kind of in the 4th spot, and then Hive number 5 spot basically on growth, or their growth was actually, excuse me, their growth was actually down. Okay, current hash rate, obviously Marathon's going to take the cake on this. Number one spot, Marathon came in number one, Core came in number two with 18.6 exahash, Riot number three at 12.4, and I think CleanSpark, well, if Riot doesn't install any miners in February, CleanSpark might be pretty much tied or overtake Riot in that spot right now. But Riot's number three, CleanSpark is in number four spot right now, Hut 8 is in number five spot, based on the numbers that we have here, and then we got everybody else down below, okay? Then when we look at BTC per exahash efficiency, is BTC per exahash. So higher is better on that one. Hive, like I said, very efficient miner. They always are like in the top three for the most part. So Hive is number one. Then came Bit Digital, CleanSpark, Core, right? The new one that we added in here. So Core is actually doing pretty well here. Iris Energy is in the top five. And then you got Bitfarms just a little bit behind Iris Energy on that one. Okay. And you can see the list for everybody else here. Month over month BTC mine percentage, everybody was pretty much down because of the Bitcoin transaction fees being reduced by about 60%. And that equated to about 10% additional BTC mined per miner for the month of January. So, excuse me, the lowest, excuse me, the lowest decrease was TeraWolf, right? And that reason for that is TeraWolf came in at number one here with hash rate growth. So that hash rate growth offset the reduction in BTCs. So that's why they came in number one, followed by Core. Obviously, Core also increased their hash rate nicely. So they came in number two spot. Bit Digital came in number three spot. Iris number four. Riot in number five spot. And then you can see everybody else down from there. Okay. Finally, last couple here, we got BTC Mine. So Core actually came in at number one. And then this is for just self-mining. And that was 1,027. Marathon came in at 929, and this is only for their self-mining also. This does not include any joint venture stuff. So that's for the reason for it. But if you include joint ventures, I think they're up to 1,080 something, I believe. But don't quote me on that one. What else do I have here? So those two, first and second place, CleanSpark number three spot, Riot number four spot, Cypher number five spot, and you got Bitfarms and Hi-Res, Hut 8, and everybody else down below. As far as days mined here, we got two tied for first place, Hive and Cypher, both about 31 days based on the numbers I could figure out. Core came in at third spot. Bit Digital Core came in second spot. Bit Digital came in at number three spot. CleanSpark came in at number four spot. Iris came in at number five spot, and then Bitfarms came just under that, just below that. Okay, now we'll take a look at HODL here. So Marathon obviously has the highest HODL out of all of them all with 15,741. Hut 8 with 9,116. Riot number three spot with 7,648. Then you got CleanSpark at 3,573. And then you got Hive with 1,939 now. So that's the top five there. And then BTC percentage sold. How much did they actually sell during the month? So Marathon actually didn't sell anything. They actually bought Bitcoin this month. And then you got CleanSpark only selling about 1%, Hive selling only 1.1% roughly also, and then Cypher 9.4%, so that's number four spot, and Bit Digital sold 33%, so those are the top five there. Okay, so how did all the miners stack up against each other with the scores? Well, here's what we're going to get into. So coming down here, so this is scores based on 8 metrics. I think you guys kind of know which one's going to be kind of in the top here, but here's what we got. So we got, with the 8 metrics, we got CleanSpark coming in with number one with 33 points. Core, first time being at bat here, came in number two. Since coming back from Chapter 11 bankruptcy, we got Hive in number number three spot. Cypher came in at number four spot with 49, and Bit Digital came in at number five spot with 50 points. Okay, and then you can see how everybody else kind of stacked up here towards this for the month of January for the 8 metrics. Now, if we take out the 2 metrics, HODL and hash rate, we can see that the scores change a little bit here. So based on those, Core came in at number one with 21, right? They grew. They had a good, efficient month as far as uptime as well. The only thing that kind of hurt them up there on top was obviously the HODL position, and that was probably it. They don't have a HODL position, at least not that we can find. Okay, so they came in number one. CleanSpark came in number two. You got Hive number three, Bit Digital number four, and then number five is Iris Energy as well in there. And then you can see that the rest of them are down the road here. Okay. So that is it. And if we look at the individual metrics for all these guys here, go through the first one here. CleanSpark, you can see pretty much all of the scores were below 5 here, which is good. The only one that was kind of high was the month over month BTC mine percentage. If we go over to the next one here, we got Core. Everything was below 5 as well, except for BTC HODLed and BTC sold. So they sold pretty much everything that they mine. And then we go at Hive. Hive had a couple of things that were below. We're looking really to have the miners below 8, I think, as far as like the average. If they can be below that for most things, they'll do pretty good. But Hive was high on BTC mined as far as the number that they mined, and the current hash rate kind of low. Okay, then you got Cypher here. Cypher was just high on month-over-month BTC mine percentage, so they didn't. They were down on it, I guess you could say. Okay, and then what else do we have here? We got Bit Digital was high on current hash rate, so their hash rate is low. BTC mined, that was low also compared to the other miners. Riot came in pretty good on most things except for BTC per exahash efficiency. They curtail a lot, so that's why. Days mined, okay, they curtail a lot, that's why. Okay, those things hurt them. Then you got Iris Energy here, for the most part, also pretty good except for current hash rate. Need to see that grow. BTC hodled as well. They don't hodl anything. That's kind of why they came in that way. Bitfarms here, only one above 8 here. That's month-over-month BTC mine percentage, so that didn't grow that much for them. Marathon here, really low on a lot of these things. The only things that hurt them were the BTC per exahash efficiencies, right? So their uptime was terrible in January. Month-over-month BTC mine percentage, we saw a huge decrease from that as well. Days mined also, so those things contributed to their low score. Okay, next we got TeraWolf here. TeraWolf, two things where they came in number 1, but then other things they came in pretty bad here. BTC per exahash efficiency, BTC mined, days mined, current hash rate is actually pretty good. BTC hodled, and then I don't think they hodl anything, so that's the reason why for that. And then BTC sold, they sold everything that they do, so that's why it came in a little bit low. Then you got Hut 8, high on BTC per exahash efficiency, month-over-month BTC mined, and days mined along with BTC sold. They sold quite a bit as well. And you got BitDeer kind of getting closer to the average line here on a lot of these things, except for month-over-month percentage hash rate. Then we got DigiHost also getting higher up towards the average here. So on that part, we also have here Sphere. You see Sphere, Argo. Argo is just above everything except for month-over-month percentage hash rate. And then we got DMG set that way. And what else? I just noticed that this one doesn't change much. The month-over-month percentage hash rate, yeah, we had a lot of them that were like in the number 3 spot. Mine individual metrics, days mined, Mawson didn't report yet, so those numbers are off anyways. They're up, way up there. Okay, and here are the scores, how everything was scored on. So you guys can take a look at it. If you want to do so, you can. And then we put it all together, grade it, calculate it, and come up with the metrics here. So out of all of them, looks like CleanSpark and Core, along with Hive, have had the best month. Then you got also Cypher and BitDigital in here, Iris, and yeah, BitDigital, Iris. Yeah. So that is it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Top miners for the month of January are as you've seen. So let me know what you guys think of that. Also, all the spreadsheets are available to my Patreon members. The link is down in the description if you want to join. There might be still a couple spots open with the $4 packet or the $5 packet, and then otherwise it's $8, but they all pretty much offer the same thing. And we'll see what happens over the weekend. We'll see how the miners did during this past week against Bitcoin. I think a lot of miners are going to be doing really well compared to Bitcoin this past week, but we'll see what happens. Let me see, which one do I want to do? I want to do that one. Secondly, I want to thank everybody here. We surpassed 10,000 subscribers on the channel, so I want to say a sincere thank you to everyone that has joined. When I started this about 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, something like that, I never thought this would get this big. This was just a hobby for me, something to do. I was doing it anyways. I was doing the metrics for myself, trying to figure out which miners I wanted to get into. And then we had the pandemic, and I kind of got into it by boredom. And it just kind of grew and grew and grew. And I thought maybe I could get to maybe 5,000 subscribers by the end of 3 years or something like that, based on how niche this target is, I guess you could say, this content. But I'm overblown by all of the support and everything else. I do appreciate it greatly. I appreciate you guys for coming in every day, watching these videos. I know I pump out a lot of stuff, but there's just a lot of stuff to go through. And I need a break for the weekend. So we'll do probably one video this weekend. I need to get some stuff done around the house and things like that. Okay, but that's beyond the point. Plus, we have the Super Bowl coming up, so that'll be fun on Sunday. So I'll probably do a video tomorrow, but not on Sunday. Okay, that is it. Again, thank you so much to everyone. Thank you to all the Patreon members. Thank you to all the YouTube members as well. You guys make it fun communicating with me, chatting with me, and I learn from you guys as much as I hope you learn from me. So that's it. Thank you again. I'll see you guys in the next one.